If you want to close deals and retain those clients, you need to know the importance of strong relationships. As I always say, guys, trust is the foundation of every relationship. Every relationship you have with anybody in your life, any sales relationship, trust is built over time. You can't just get trust very quickly. You can't just go into and meet somebody and be all of a sudden they trust you. Some people are more trusting than others at the beginning, but most people when they're coming into a sales situation are immediately on guard. So you got to build that trust, whether that be through storytelling, whether that be through connecting with them through something that you guys mutually enjoy, golf, sports, anything like that. That creates a base layer of trust that you can then work on as you're going throughout your sale. Understanding your customer needs is one of the most important ways to build trust. Listening, engaging, asking those right questions, making sure that you're understanding what they're looking for so that you can sell the right service or product to them so that it meets their needs. If you're able to ask the questions, you're able to understand their problems, if you're able to bring them new problems that they haven't even seen, that's a way to build trust. It's a very important way to build trust, especially for us over here at MFG Tribe. When we're going through and we're looking into what people's problems are in their marketing and sales, I can identify problems that they're not even aware of. You could do it in your product. You might have your press that you ask them, what are your biggest problems with your current press? And they list out a few and you can ask another one. They weren't even aware that that was a problem that they're dealing with. Your product, your press, offers them that solution. Understanding your customers' needs allows you to personalize solutions. If with a service industry, it's a little bit easier because we can customize, specifically what we're doing if they are strong in one area. Not products are the same way. If you guys are offering a plethora of products, multiple different lines of products, understanding those lines, understanding your customers' needs. One line might meet majority of your customer needs, and one line might meet all of your customers' needs. The one line that meets all of your customer needs might be a little bit pricier, but if you have that trust and they know that they can believe and trust you, they're more likely to buy that one that's a little bit more expensive because they know that you have shown them that it can solve all of their problems. Long-term relationships are better than those short-term gains. If you're out there acting like a car salesman, and for those car salesmen out there that are watching this video, I'm not hammering on you, but long-term relationships, especially in industrial and manufacturing, are important. People are not coming in for the most part and making that quick buy. When people come in, for example, when people come in to buy a car, they know that they're trying to buy a car, that they know that they need a car for the most part. But for us in industrial, we know those long-term relationships. We know that since our product and service is a large amount of money, and industrial are very peculiar and very picky on how they spend their money, how much they spend every year. You need to form those long relationships. You need to make it so you're consistently checking back on them. They don't think or feel that you've forgotten about them, even if they have said, we're not ready to purchase right now, we're still looking into X, Y, and Z, we're still looking into which press, we're still looking into which CNC machine that we're trying to buy. Having those long-term relationships, checking back in with them, making sure that everything that if they've gone on to another CNC press or they've moved on from you, checking in with them, making sure that their problems have been addressed with their current solution. If it hasn't, telling them, hey, I'm still here for you guys when you need it, telling them, hey, our product and services have updated, and if they didn't go with you because you didn't have a specific service or product that they needed, but now that you do, going to them and being like, hey, we've updated our product and services, how about you take a look at our solutions now that we have to offer for you guys? Creates that sense of long-term relationship, because then, again, guys, once you get that long-term relationship, they're gonna come back. People are going to come back to you because they know that you have solved their problems to the way that they want to 100% capacity, or at least to the point where they are very happy, and that you've given them, a sense of urgency or a sense of belonging with you because they feel that you are a friend. This is what gets you those long-term relationships. But personalizing those connections, making sure that when you are reaching out to them, you're not just going, hey, following up on sales. Touch back on something that you had in your discovery call. Touch back with something that you know about them. Heck, guys, if you guys are following them on social media, on LinkedIn, and they post something, for example, one of my clients posted that they had an empanada night with the family. I had a conversation with him about 3 or 4 days later and asked him how the empanadas were with the fam, and he loved it. He was like, hey, you saw that I had empanadas, and it created another form of trust. Even though I had already developed this trust with this specific client, it created just that even more. So now he calls me when he has a problem. He will come to you and he will go, hey, this isn't really fitting my need if it was to happen. And it makes it so you guys will have a less likelihood of losing a client if you build that trust, because they will come to you and problem solve. If you don't have that relationship and they just bought that product from you and it doesn't work the way that you told them to, they're just gonna quit. They're gonna go, okay, I don't wanna do this anymore. I have to stop because I've spent X amount of dollars, I wanna stop. If you have that relationship, they're more likely to come to you and problem solve. And we all know that every single one of us, no matter how good of a salesman or how good of a company you are, we all come across problems, whether that be with our team not completing the necessary things that they need to complete in the time they need to complete it. And we all know that things get pushed back because of clients, gets pushed back to X, Y, and Z. But if you have that relationship, they'll come and they'll work through things with you. If you guys are trying to be really diligent on building that relationship process, remember the little things. Kids' birthdays, things that they did, as I said earlier, family empanada night. Take notes, take little notes, especially if you know you have a meeting with them in the next, week, month, 2 months. Take little notes and go, hey, I remember this, I remember this. You see something that they enjoy. You know that they like a football team. I always go there during football season, and even though I'm a Giants fan, unfortunately, I go in there, and anytime I see somebody with a football background or something like that, I take note they're a football fan. But sports is one of the big things that I relate to, and creating those notes and taking those little brief little synopses of things that you realize or recognize or note or see that they're doing. Empathy is another really important tool in your tool belt, in your sales tool belt here. Showing empathy and understanding the customer's perspectives can really help you guys, again, with building that trust. This really humanizes the sales process, showing them that you understand their problems, that you're using examples of other customers who have had similar problems to them, so they understand that you understand their problems. A lot of sales guys, when they come in, will pretend like they understand the problems, pretend that, okay, yeah, I get it, and then they immediately start over pushing things instead of really actually asking the right questions, really understanding their problems. If you show them that you understand their issues and you show them that you are knowledgeable in understanding their issues and how to problem solve, then you're going to show them another source of trust. Empathy, again, guys, is really important. As I always say, and I always annoy you guys with, consistent and meaningful communication is key. Making sure that you are consistent with your communication. And I'm not saying every 2 or 3 days keep checking up if they're not answering you. Try different things. Try touching them on LinkedIn, try emailing them, try calling them. If you have other form of social media that you've connected with them on, try liking their posts, maybe messaging them on that LinkedIn. Being consistent, even if they are not answering you, they'll see that and they go, hey, he's being consistent, he's checking in, he's making sure that I'm either going along the process that we had agreed upon. Maybe they had changed, maybe their decision timeline has changed. You'll get the information that you need, and then you can make decisions based off of that. If they tell you, hey, I'm not ready right now, we're pushing this back 2 months, still staying in contact with them through that 2 months. Don't leave them for 2 months and go, okay, I'm not gonna pester you for 2 months. But also, okay, they're not gonna really make the decision they think for 2 months. Maybe in 2 weeks, I'll check back up again and say, hey, everything's still aligned with 2 months, or check back in and be like, hey, if you have some new form of information, you can bring them. That's another form of checking in. That's another form of meaningful contact. Besides just, hey, I'm following up on X, Y, and Z. I'm following up on the proposal that I sent over. I'm following up on the decision that you guys made to push it back 2 or 3 months. Ask them a question. Bring them some form of valuable information that's not necessarily, again, following up, but being in front of them. Meaningful contact. I touched back earlier that personalization in your sales approach is important. If you guys are showing up and throwing up and you sound like a robot whenever you're pitching to someone, they're going to pick up on that. I don't care who they are. I don't care how busy they are. I don't care who it is. If you show up and throw up and you sound like a robot and you're just doing the same pitch to everybody, they will know that that is the same pitch. They will know that you are following either a script or something like that. You need to personalize what you're doing. You need to personalize your pitch. You need to do a little bit of research, not a little. You need to do a good amount of research in the client that you're going to present. If you have discovery calls, you need to do research. Figure out what they do. Like for us, for example, I figure out, okay, hey, I look at them, see if they're posting blogs, see if they're consistently posting on LinkedIn, see if they have videos. For you guys, see what presses they use, see what machines they use, see what their capabilities are, see what, services that they're needing, see what services they have to offer, depending on what you're trying to sell them. Get to know the client before you're even on the discovery call, because you will find things that you will go, oh, hey, I can push this. I can show them this. I can give them this example. I can tell this story. If you go into a discovery call and you go, hey, I know what I'm doing because I have a script that I follow, no one's gonna buy from you. I promise you. And if they do, that's just because that you have something that they absolutely need, and they're not gonna trust you in the future because they're gonna go, the sales guy is following a script, is not really knowledgeable, is just kind of that guy that's sitting there trying to get me to give them money. If you remove the feeling of you're just trying to take their money from them and you're trying to give them a solution, again, another form of trust. You guys always have to have the need or the want to adapt to change. Change is always out there. It's always changing. The landscape is forever changing. In industrial, every week is something new that comes in, whether that be new tactics, whether that be new AI. You guys have to have the need and the want to be able to adapt to change. In the industrial realm, we are always changing. The need and the want to change, the understanding that the playing field is always changing is important in sales. Knowing that when you have pitched to somebody 3 or 4 months ago and things have changed in that, maybe bringing them a different solution. If they haven't signed on necessarily already, then bring in a different solution. Be like, hey, we have a different solution that is coming that can actually address this issue. And who knows, that problem or that solution might address that issue that much better that they're going to sign that much quicker. Being able to adapt and show your clients that you are able to adapt and think on your feet is really important in building that relationship again. Integrity. We all know the value of integrity is important. Do not oversell yourself. Do not undersell yourself. Do not promise things to clients that you know that you cannot complete or that it would be very difficult for your team to complete because it makes you look like a liar. If you sell something to somebody and they're not able to, and your company or your team is not able to complete what you sold them, that's not good. That'll make you look like a dishonest sales guy, and that will follow you around from any industry that you go to. People will go, that is not a trustworthy individual because they're trying to sell and they're just trying to get their commission. If you guys realize when you're going through a sales process that this solution is not really going to work for this client, but you're just going to sell it to them because you want that commission, take a step back, really look at it. You're going to affect yourself in the future. And when I say you're going to affect yourself in the future, you're going to affect future clients, you're going to affect future commissions, you're going to affect future gains. Because that person, that client will go back in their industry and they will, especially if you don't do what you're supposed to do, they will make noise. Lying and not having a sense of integrity or form of integrity is your biggest weakness as a sales guy. If you are known as that greasy, lying sales guy, no one will buy anything from you. I don't care if you're trying to sell an Apple phone to someone that needs a phone, they will go and find somebody else to buy from if they do not trust you. All right, guys, you saw what I do when I'm trying to build relationships. Do you guys have any tips, tricks? Let me know in the comments below. Follow us on our YouTube, MFG Tribe. Go check us out at mfgtribe.com. Follow my LinkedIn, follow Kyle's LinkedIn, and give a thanks to our video team because they're the ones that make these things possible.